Greetings, Chris Fiola here with another edition of the Perfecting Equilibrium vlog. Last week we finished up our look at developing marketing materials for Fiola Factory using the new AI tools in the Photoshop beta, and I made a couple comments about having to upgrade my machine. I thought it would be interesting to take a few minutes and look at the huge impact and different impact that these AI tools, and it's not just the Photoshop, it's all of these AI tools, are having on computer systems. It looks like this is one of those inflection points where to use the newest types of software, you're going to have to look at some computer upgrades. So I've pulled this up here. Here's the About section on my computer. I'm running an AMD Ryzen 7 2700. That's an 6-year-old chip. Came out in 2018. It's one of AMD's newer chiplet Ryzen-based super CPUs. It really upped the number of cores that were available and booted Intel into the background for a while, and Intel had to really start playing catch up and developing their chips faster. Great thing for all of us consumers out there. But this is an 8-core processor that runs 16 threads, so it can run up to 16 separate processes simultaneously. And it had 16 gigs of RAM in it, as you can see here. Also not noted here, but relevant to the fact, is that the boot drive here is a 256 gigabyte SSD. Now you'll notice down in this bottom corner here that I have about 10% of that drive full. I'll refresh it because it changes fairly consistently there. Nope, still at 26.8. So I'm at 10% of that drive full. And you can see up here in my task manager that the CPU is just ticking by, despite the fact that I'm recording a video, and at the same time have, like a lot of developers and content creation people, I normally have 2 at least or 3 browsers open at the same time, each one with 5 to 15 tabs. These numbers here are talking about the number of threads they're running, not the number of tabs. But here's Firefox over here that's open. Google Chrome is open with a bunch of tabs. Loom is the software that I'm using to record this. I still use Microsoft Mail for one of my accounts, and I use Microsoft Outlook for 3 other accounts. Basically have my work accounts here and my personal accounts over on Mail. Microsoft Edge is another browser, and that's got the Best of Pentex Forums newsletter Substack running over there. Plus then, of course, I have Task Manager, which is what you're looking at, and Windows Explorer, which shows the storage down here. I'm going to hit refresh while I'm down here anyway. So let us now go and call up Photoshop Beta. I just updated this morning, so despite the fact that Adobe likes to update this thing like on a daily basis, I should be where I am. Now notice, even though I'm pulling this up and we're getting very high on power, I'm still just running under 50% CPU, under 3/4, under 75% memory. Okay, so we're up. And to put the maximum amount of strain on here, I'm going to go and call up Adobe Bridge on top of that to browse. It's some old plugins that we don't want running right now. Go away. And notice again, it kicks up to boot the new package, of course, but here we are back down to under 20% CPU, and we're still at 77% memory. Let's see how this is doing now. I've used up, less than a gig, maybe a gig. All right, so let us now thrash this thing in normal Photoshop stuff. So let's open this DNG file, which is a raw file from my Pentex K33 monochrome that I used to scan some of my old Pacific Stars and Stripes triacs in. This is it open in Adobe Camera Raw. So I have yet another program running now. Let's open it, pull it right across. Again, we're not even hitting a third on this. Oh, we just busted a third for a split second there. 84% memory. But notice that the computer zips right along here, and nothing has bothered it so far. So let's do normal Photoshoppy things in it. Let us flip that vertically. Let us invert this black and white negative to a black and white positive. And then, me being an old zone system guy, let's pull up the levels tool and let's pin zone 9. I like to drop zone 9 just under the toe. I like to leave the toe out. And the same thing with zone 0. I like to pull it up. I found on these here it's most effective right to pull it right to that toe and leave those there. And then you could tweak it from there, of course. Usually I tend to pull the midtones down a hair. There we go. So there we go. Notice again, we've never even seen an hourglass or anything else. But let us now clear the decks and see what happens with these new tools. I just wanted to make the point there that you could see doing normal photographic stuff. You've not seen an hourglass. You've not seen any sort of even waiting, even for a split second. Nothing here has gone crazy. Oh, started using more memory. I do want to point out here though that I am not using that C drive as a scratch disk. So this is just Adobe doing normal stuff while it's scratching onto the almost 2 terabytes that are free on a high-speed USB 3 drive. So there should be no reason for all that, for what it's doing here. Okay, let us close this. And let us open this, one of the steampunk cameras that I was working on before. And I'm just going to very quickly go like yay, pull out, select an area, and generate. Now you can see we get this coming up. The slowdown is just appreciable. Not only with how long that this takes, and this is not the worst of the tools. I can't quite remember, but I think it was the extend background tool with the machine basically locked up entirely. Now I'm going to undo that, and I'm going to close everything here. Just to try to make this as much about Photoshop as possible. Closing bridge. Okay. So the only thing running now is Photoshop. Well, of course, the Loom, because we have to record the video, or it doesn't make a lot of sense. So let us do it again. Let us click in here, click Generative Fill, and generate. It's actually doing better. It's actually doing better. So, but you can see again how just simply long this generation takes there, even with that. And that's in a fairly small area. This entire image is only, that is maybe an 800 by 500 space. Like a lot of these things, it really depends on the size of what you're generating. I'm going to generate an entire new layer. I'm going to turn off the other layers. I'm going to select this whole thing. And there we go. We have a 2000 by 500. Again, not particularly large. Not particularly large in the scheme of things. And we're going to generate the same thing. Yeah, it looks about the same. And I do want to say that the one where it really choked, I was running on an image that was 10,000 pixels by 5,000, or I think it was 10,000 by 5,000. So it was a much larger image than this, but it really gives you kind of an idea how long this can take on a machine that never even turns on the working hourglass any other time. So anyway, well, that's 10 minutes. That's kind of long for a video here. Apologize for that, but I thought you would find that interesting. So hope you're having a great week. It's raining here in Texas. I hope it's nice where you are. Feel out. See you next week.